YouTube. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Come on in. Hi, Shiro on Instagram. Come on in. Good morning, Up North. Good morning, Henrique. Good morning, Mystique. Hello, K Matish. Um, Let me know where you're tuning in from. Thank you, Shiro. And good morning, Ali Reza. If this is your first time, definitely say hi in the comments. Let me give you a shout out. Today, I just want to come on here to answer frequently asked questions you have. I'm dealing with some jet lag right now, so I'm, a little bit tired, and I hope I'm not getting sick. Um, but yeah. So ask your questions. For those of you who don't know me, or if this is your first time tuning in, my name is Aisha Shidole, and I'm an immigration attorney. I represent clients all over the United States, internationally, with their family immigration matter, humanitarian cases, citizenship, green card. I'll be happy to help them. You can call me 407-995-6567. You can also send a WhatsApp to 404-333-8751. And I'll be happy to help you. Good morning, Tanique. Yes, God is good all the time. Good morning, Brandon. Good morning, Nikaya and Africanist Shege on YouTube. Thea, God bless us. It's her first time. Awesome, awesome. Arturo says, can you marry me to adjust my status? No, I cannot marry you. I'm married, thank you. But hopefully you can find somebody who you love that can marry you and help you do that. Jody Lang, first time, good morning. Thank you for tuning in. All right, guys, you can jump right into your questions. If you don't have any questions, I will jump off just so I can do some catching up. I got to do some interview preps today with some of my clients who we have interviews coming up. Very brave. Hi, first time. Rose Denise says, love you to pieces. Right back at you. Hi, it's from New York City. Good morning. Up north from England. Yeah, I love your voice. Thank you so much. That's awesome. I actually just got back from Paris 2 nights ago. It's kind of warm, in Europe right now. You would think, because of the time of the month, but it was like super warm while I was there. Okay, so let me get right into the questions. So Kareem on YouTube says, good morning. I'm a VAWA applicant and I applied 6 months ago, received prima facie and combo card. So far, no RFE yet. Is that a good sign, or they can send RFE anytime later? Well, it's a good sign that you got a prima facie determination letter, definitely. But if you've not gotten an RFE within 6 months of you applying, it's a good sign in that you meet all the minimum requirements to get an RFE. But yes, they can still send an RFE later. Typically, with VAWA cases, when it comes to substantial portions of your case, the RFEs come towards when they're about to make a decision. So, most VAWA cases take anywhere from like 18 months to 2.5 years. So that's generally where you'll see RFEs for substantial stuff if there's one to be given in your case. Okay. Keisha says, how long does it take to get a receipt after filing for VAWA? The answer is that it depends. If you're doing a VAWA stand alone without an adjustment of status, it takes several months. I really don't know why it's been taking this long. If it's with an I-485 where you actually pay a fee, then you're looking at 3 to 6 weeks to get your receipt. Okay. Tanique says, what happens after your I-360 is approved? Once your I-360 is approved, you get obviously your C-31 card and the approval letter. And then usually they will then send your approval to your field office if you have an adjustment of status pending. And one of two things could happen. If you're so anybody basically getting a proof of VAWA right now, most likely, if whether you're an abeyance client or maybe you submitted VAWA way back, whatever it is. You most likely submitted your medical. If you submitted your medical, if you're an abeyance client, you most likely need a new one based on the requirements for COVID. So one or two things could happen. They could either request that you send new medicals so that they can bypass the interview, or they will schedule you for an interview. So one of the two things can happen, and that could take months. That could still take anywhere from about 4 to 6 months. Some people a little quicker, but it could still be in that window. So if you get bypassed, you get an RFE saying send us your medical. And even if they don't bypass you, it's not something to panic about. It's not a big deal. Just attend the interview and just go over everything, your I-485, and you should be good. Okay. African Shaggy says, what's the process of what to expect after expediting an I-765 for a nursing job? The process is just to wait. It's just to wait. Hopefully your expedite will be granted and you'll get a decision relatively soon, depending on when you submitted it, but it's just to wait, really. Let me see what we have on Instagram. MC Buchilo says, can we have you as a speaker? I'm not sure what it's in reference to. What am I going to be speaking on? What platform? What is it about? Send a DM or send a message on our WhatsApp to let me know what it is, or send an email to me. And then I'll see if it's something that I'm interested in doing. Okay. One same time says, have you ever helped anyone from Jamaica? Yeah, I'm sure a lot of the people that I've helped from Jamaica are on my live right now, and they could probably comment and let you know that they're from Jamaica and I've helped them. But yeah, we have a lot of clients from Jamaica. Hi, Boan from Maryland. I'm Bofenda that says, are you open to clients from NYC? Yes, guys, I take clients all over the United States. I have clients in probably all states in the United States. So, do not, your location truly doesn't matter. Immigration is federal law. Federal law means that you can practice it from wherever you are. Like, it doesn't matter, so we have a ton of clients in New York City. I'm from New York City. That's where I got my, license, where I went to college and all of that good stuff. So, it holds a special place to me, and we do have a lot of clients in New York City, so yes. See, Tanique Bartley says, I'm from Jamaica, so that's somebody who I've helped, and you can probably DM her on the side. So is Nikea, who's from Jamaica, so yeah, we definitely help quite a bit of Jamaicans. Thea Gutler says, do you go with your clients to interviews? Yeah, it depends on scheduling and availability. Sometimes I attend the interviews in person, depending on where the interview is and my own schedule. If I cannot physically travel to where the interview is, I attend by telephone. One of the great things about that came out of COVID is that it allows you to be anywhere and everywhere. So whether I attend your interview via phone appearance or whether I'm there in person, it's absolutely the same thing. It makes no difference, because before they start your interview, the officer calls me, places me on speakerphone, and then we begin. If I have any interruptions or anything that I would like to say, I can say there, whether I'm there or whether I'm in person. Sometimes it might be one of my associates that attends. Sometimes it might be a coverage attorney. It just really depends on scheduling, because there's sometimes I might have like 3 interviews in one day and all in different states. So depending on the times of the interview or in the order of priority I get it, generally, when I have interviews, they're all on the same day. Generally, they're a different time, but sometimes I may send a coverage attorney to one and attend one and all of that stuff. But yeah, we don't leave you hanging high and dry. I really think that for me as an attorney, one of the most important things to me is seeing my clients through to the very end. And for me, the very end is an approval of their green card and approval of their citizenship. So I believe that it's really important to do that interview prep with your attorney, if you're using it with me or one of my associates, and attending that interview, when we can, we're giving you a coverage attorney to attend with you, just so that, there's somebody there to advocate for you. Godzone says, how can you cancel an erroneously duplicated VAL application? The only way to do that is to specifically send a withdrawal letter with a specific reason that you're canceling one, inclusive of like your receipt numbers, just to make sure, you know, is being canceled. And I would also ask for a supervisor to be the one handling it so you can make sure that that's done correctly. So Tom Bob on YouTube says, I got an approval for the 485. I'm now in the same state. And an update came via USCIS portal. It said follow the instructions in the approval notice, but I'm not in the state I first filed. I'm not really sure what the continuation of this question is or what the question you're asking me is. So, you know, you might want to finish typing it out. Nashville Bird Restaurant. Why are you a hater? So I have some haters today. What's the problem, Nashville? You didn't go to bed early or you didn't get enough sleep. It says focus on your work and stuff, blah, blah, blah. This is my work. This is my work to educate people on what they qualify for, you know, because there are many people who might not be able to hire an attorney and who, you know, want to hire an attorney but want to have knowledge on what it is they're doing. So this is work being on here. And you don't have to be on my live Nashville Bird Restaurant. If you don't want to be on my live, you know, you can exit. This is a free country. You shouldn't be on here if you don't want to be on here, okay? Shira says, how long does it take to get a work permit? How long does it take to get the work permit? The answer to that depends on what you submitted. What position did you submit? Generally, if it's based on like marriage or based on like a C9, you know, most times it takes anywhere from like 5 to 8 months. I mean, we're seeing some people get like 4 months now, 5.5 months, 6 months, almost like that's the sort of like the average we're seeing. But still, like when you go on USCIS, it will still give you that window of like 5 to 8 months, because if your stuff comes later, you can't say, oh, it's late, because it's still within the same time, you know, requirements. Okay. I-130 was approved. Biometrics done 85 days. How long will the work permit take? Spouses of citizen. I-485 pending. I honestly don't know how long it's going to take for you to get your work permit, but hopefully soon enough. Okay, let me see some questions in the comment box. Okay, so this person says, my I-360 was approved in April. I got an update. Fingerprints were taken 10 days ago. So it just means maybe they just recently applied your fingerprints, or instead of sending you biometrics, they use your old biometrics, because sometimes when you apply for VAWA, after your VAWA gets approved, you know, usually they will request that you do another biometrics for the 485, because maybe it was a long time ago when you apply for the VAWA. But if your biometrics, they can use it, it will give you that update, you know, which means you're currently working on your file, and there's a very good chance that you'll either be getting an interview scheduled soon or bypass scheduled soon. Santos says, how long max does it take to get my EAD, and how do I know if my appointment has been waived? There's no max time. You can get your EAD at any time. Like I mentioned earlier, the average time is 5 to 9 months, but USCIS can do whatever they want. Starabam says, how long does it take to get a receipt number? It's been 6 weeks. My attorney submitted my VAWA. Well, you know, you should contact your attorney to ask them any questions you have, since you have an attorney, and hopefully they should be able to help you. But because I don't know what your attorney submitted for you, whether you have a standalone or whether you have an adjustment of status, because that all changes from a timeline perspective when you get your receipt. But I would say that's the first thing you should do: reach out to your attorney's office to find out. I found an I-751, and 20 months ago it went to fingerprint. 6 weeks later, then 10 months later, it said I'm ready for an interview, but last week it went back to fingerprints applied. Please help. Um, yeah, so hopefully that it means that a decision is coming soon on your case, or you being scheduled for an interview. Because even though it says ready for an interview, it doesn't necessarily mean um, that you were scheduled for an interview. But hopefully that's what will happen for you soon. Kyan says, what happens if your case has been waived? I'm not sure that I understand the question, so if you can ask it again. Godwin says, went to fingerprints twice. Yeah, that's not uncommon, especially if you're a valid applicant. Like I mentioned earlier, you might do fingerprinting earlier, like 2 years when you submit your valid, and then 2 years later, they might need fresh fingerprinting and biometrics because, they want to make sure that nothing has happened since then. You don't have any criminal records since then, etc. Christine says, when is the best time to remarry another immigrant after divorcing one? Meaning you're a U.S. citizen and you want to marry an immigrant. Is that what you mean? I mean, there's no rule as to when you can get married. You can marry whenever you want to marry. If you're talking about filing for people and red flags, if you're filing for people back to back, obviously that's a red flag. Or you file for someone, you got divorced, the next week you married another person and you file for them, that's a red flag. But a red flag means just that. A red flag just means, okay, I have this application, I'm going to look through it in more detail. I'm not going to skim through. I'm going to pay more attention to it. It doesn't mean that it's going to be denied or whatever. That being said, there's no timeline. Blue Trillion says, my best lawyer, how are you doing today? Have missed you. Thank you so much. I'm doing good, suffering from jet lag, but I'm doing good. Stream says, if you have an arrested charge for felony, or it was brought down to violation charges, does this affect my chances of getting a green card? It all depends. It depends on what exactly the charge was. It depends on how long ago it was. It depends on if it's considered a crime of moral turpitude. Those are all things that are looked at to determine, how it affects. Then if Floridians get a work permit without someone sponsoring them, no, somebody or something has to sponsor you for a work permit. Or you have to self-petition because you qualify for something based on another person. Richard says, how much are your consultations? They're $150. Okay, let me see. Tom Bob says, I want to know if the documents will be sent to the previous address since I recently changed my address, and if this change will delay the card's delivery. Honestly, I don't know because I don't know when your stuff was printed and mailed versus when you change your address. If you change your address way before your case got approved and you received confirmation that your address had been changed, then you know that it would come to the new address. If you did not, then that might be a problem where it goes to the old address. Love bless Chanel says, I have a consultation with you this week. Yay, that's awesome. Rosalie said, yes, she helped me. I'm from Jamaica. She's the best. Tell them, including all the haters on this call. I don't know why people just hate for no reason. Like, does it make you happy? Like, life is short. Like, be free and be happy. Like, if you don't like somebody or you don't like what you're hearing, you can always X out. You don't have to be on my live. Hey, Gemma, what's up? That's my friend. Please, if I only have a work permit, can I give my mom and child back home an invite to come to the US? Or do I need to have a green card first? Well, you can't give them an invite. They have to apply for B1, B2. That's a tourist visa, and if they get approved, they get approved. If you become a green card holder, you still cannot petition for your mom. You have to be a U.S. citizen to petition for your mom. However, if your child is under 21, you can petition for them where there's no waiting time right now. If your child is over 21, then things change a little bit depending on If your child is married, then obviously they don't qualify. And then if they do qualify, you can apply as a green card holder for them. But the best bet right now, if they want to see you, is to file for a visitor's visa or apply for a visitor's visa. Chef Michelle says, I'm a valid green card holder and I got remarried. Can I sponsor my spouse? All depends on when you became a green card holder. I am Anna. I am Kiana. Says the person who prepared my forms told me I don't need an I-765 because the I-360 will get me a work permit. Is that true? Also, she had me pay for a joint sponsor that she said I will need. Is that true? So the first thing I would say is that your question leads me to believe, one second. Your question leads me to believe that you did not use an attorney. And this is one of the things of you get what you paid for, because every single thing that you've written on here is erroneous. And that is why, I stress it to you guys. Listen, it's not worth it. Like, if you've ever heard the phrase, a penny wise, pound foolish, sometimes you got to look at what you're doing for yourself. Like, you're not doing it for anybody, for yourself. Like, you're investing in yourself. You're investing in your children. You're investing in your future by doing things the right way. So you have to start thinking from not a scarcity mentality, which is that, oh my gosh, I cannot afford an attorney, so I'm just going to do patch mill and piecemeal work, to know I'm going to do everything I can to afford a reputable attorney who knows what they're doing to do this for me, because the outcome is worth it. So to answer your question, let me go back. I think it just disappeared. I think I've lost you, because I want to go back to this. Oh my gosh, my stuff keeps going so quickly. I have lost you. I really want to go back to this and address this. So many other comments have come through. See, guys, when you guys say I don't answer you, this is the reason why, because questions come so I can't answer. I think the question you said was, they told you that you couldn't apply for a 765. So that first part is absolutely wrong. If you qualify for adjustment of status, you should be filing for adjustment of status and your work permit when you're submitting your ballot application, so you can get your work permit earlier. That work permit is basically saying that you have a pending adjustment of status. What this person who filed your VAWA is basically telling you is that you're not going to get a work permit until you get approved, which is like 2 years from now, or 2.5 years from now. And that work permit is an approval work permit. So that work permit doesn't mean that anything is pending. It means that they've approved your case, but that's going to take you 2 years to 2.5 years. Whereas you can get a work permit just on the basis of you having a pending petition if you qualify for adjustment of status. That is number one. The second thing which just came to me that you mentioned was that they told you need a joint sponsor. Again, this is how I know that you're not using an attorney or someone who understands how VAWA works. As a self-petitioner, when you submit a VAWA application, you are exempt from a financial affidavit of support. Okay? You don't need a joint sponsor because you don't need anyone to sponsor you. There's no income requirement. So it concerns me what else was done erroneously, but I would suggest you get a FOIA of your records and have an attorney take over your case to make sure that your case pushes forward. Okay. Okay. Dixon says, what happens when you have a baby but not married and the relationship is not working out? I mean, I don't know. I don't know what you're asking me. If your relationship is not working out, break up. Meet somebody else. Like, you don't stay with somebody if it's not working out, I guess. But what is a question, as it relates to immigration that you're asking? Can a foreigner get a work permit without a job sponsor? Somebody asked this question earlier, and the answer is no. Something has to make you eligible. Something has to make you eligible to get a work permit. What do you do if you have a 485 pending and the petitioner dies? There's a few nuances and things that happen, inclusive of substitution of petitioner, but these are all things that USCI is using its discretion on a one-on-one basis. But we would have to know who exactly was petitioning, who passed away, and who's substituting, and all that stuff for you. So schedule a consult if that's you. So it says, how long does K1 visa usually take? It depends on your country. It depends on your country. Some countries are quicker because they don't get a lot of applications, where it could take 12 months. Some other countries it could take like 18 months, 20 months. It just really depends on the country. Okay, guys, I gotta jump off. Let me take one more question. Let me get a good one. Can you still file for VAWA if you can't prove cohabitation because your spouse was controlling? However, you can prove good faith marriage and every other requirement. I can't answer that unless I'm able to screen you to know that you truly cannot prove cohabitation. Because many times people think they can't prove cohabitation and they're able to prove it. Would need a consult to be able to tell you that. All right, guys, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will talk to y'all later. Bye.